Okay, cool. Anyway, yeah, sorry in case you saw me sitting there looking stupid for a second. There's a bit of a delay before the actual screen comes up for me to start recording, at least on my end. But anyway, excuse me. Well, anyway, some progress notes, just quickly. This actually, yeah. I was able to get the second forearm done, and I haven't been playing with this one, so this one's actually still solidly attached. Although I will be taking it off to hinge it when I do the final build. But so I'm pretty happy with how these came out actually. But yeah, I'm gonna actually I'm taking a look at a couple of the pieces from the chest plate. This is one of them. It actually is goes up around here, so on the chest plate. And it's like I'm not going to be trying to cut this piece here, which is, sticks out some. I'm not going to be really dealing with that, but I am going to try to flatten this whole thing out, like that, and then basically just, put it down onto the cardboard, and then cut, like that, and so that way I can just take it and fold it back, because mostly I just want this just good and stiff, and then pieces like this are okay. But then there are other pieces. Overall, it's actually not going to be that complicated to deal with. I basically can just separate it out in the sections that it already is, and then just go from there. So this actually, it's going to be a bit tedious, but overall, I think, because like I said, I do like this chest plate. And rather than going and printing out another chest plate and cutting it out and then gluing it and so on and so forth, I'd rather just do that. That will cut out about 2 hours at least of worth of work. But like I said, this is, these are actually 2 full arm patterns, but because I cut them too small, I actually could use the bicep piece pretty much as it is. I would just have to do a little bit more fill-in work for the shoulder and all. And then I'm not sure if I actually want to try to, I'm not sure if I want to try to print the bicep the same size and then try to work with it, or if I'm just going to just get the size that I actually need and then set the scale in the Pepakura program, and then go from there. But at least now I have the forearms, and these actually, I looked at people that actually built the forearms that I was originally planning on using before I found this arm pattern, and I have to say that, the ones that I was thinking about using was actually like the Batman XE, I think it was. I'm not too familiar with that particular one myself because I really don't follow DC much at all. Really, you follow Marvel that much, I like Iron Man, I'm familiar with a lot of Marvel's stuff, but, yeah, and, I also remember I didn't do my usual opening, but then again, this is not really, I don't know, this is just mostly me just running my mouth for a minute, but, like I said, I'm happy with the way the forearms came out. But like I said, I did see people who actually had built the forearms that I was originally planning on using. And, they do look good, but I just I like having a webcam that will actually orient where it's supposed to. I have a couple of projects that I'm going to be looking at using, like OpenCV, possibly Track IR. There's a free version that I found, I found out about, and I'm going to actually try to do something where I use use some sort of motorized gimbal or something like that, so that way I can just, when I'm getting ready to record, I just hit that and it will just track my face, and that way it'll automatically go to the thing. I don't know, mostly just to kind of, just, see what I can do, how well I can get it going. just basically I need something to do to learn it, because I haven't really decided what I'm going to do on certain things. So having these little busy work projects helps me learn it, and that way, because I'm thinking I want to do a holographic drafting table. I did find out about this one augmented reality headset that really what it is it's a head-mounted holder for your phone, but it because of the way that it is, you put your phone into it, and I'm assuming that the phone would be probably like right about here, about the forehead, and then the way that the lens is and the optics on it, it takes pretty much any phone and gives you this like friggin', it's like a friggin' like a 200-inch screen at like 8 feet or something. I mean, basically, pretty much, if like the demo videos they showed said, like if you were looking up into the night sky using like the star mapping thing for it, you would not see the edge of the display at all. It would just be so. The field of vision, the FOV, they call it, is big enough where, okay, I mean, if this is what I end up going with, I have various devices, and it's really not hard to find, friggin' just cheap ass Androids at pawn shops and stuff like that. We'll see how it goes. I am actually considering just taking a look at how it is that you can, instead of having to have a battery specifically in the device, I want to try using these. And that way, because I mean, they actually last a pretty good bit of time, but I want to actually design my unit so that way, use like 2 of these, or 2 holders for it anyway, where you would just pop it in or pop it down onto the thing, and then when you get a low battery indicator, you just you go and you pick up the second one. This is actually a cap or something, but you get the idea. But basically you would in that way, and pop that on the charger, and then when it's time to swap this one out, you just so I'm looking at different ways, because I mean, you're always going to be able to find something like this, and then just a matter of making sure that it's turned on, and so which also, depending on how it's done, because the battery, you don't have to release the switch to turn it on, and as far as I know, holding the switch in doesn't do anything to it. So I could very easily design the holder for this, so that way there's like a little bump, so that way when you put it in, it hits the switch, turns it on, and when you pull it out, okay. Yeah, this is how my design process ends up going. Always looking at, oh yeah, if I do this, and then I realize, oh wait a minute, I can put the bump about halfway down, or even at the beginning of it, and even have a friggin' viewer in the thing, so as going in, I can have a slit cut in the side to see that, okay, yes, it's actually on, and then because it'll leave a slit there, oh damn, it didn't actually turn on, so boom. So got a couple of ideas for that. I'm also looking into how to use these in my costume builds and things like that. I talked to a person at the Maker panel back at DragonCon 2014, and they actually, when I said, hey look, I'm thinking about using these, and she said, oh, those actually work good. I've used them in a couple of projects and all. I mean, they are a known quantity. It's DC output is 5 volts, at a 1 amp draw. It's a 2200 milliamp, whereas this is 1000 milliamps. And I'm actually looking at the possibility of using something like this. The only issue is that this, if you hold it in for too long, it has a safety cutoff. But the batteries themselves, I mean, it's not hard. You just basically you can actually just pull this apart, and it wouldn't be that hard to yank this out, pop the batteries off of that switch, and just directly wire to another switch. So, yeah, but I like the ability to charge it and everything. So I'm going to actually take a look at a couple things, like if I was to take that switch off, could I wire that to another switch and then still plug it in, because it's a pass-through. There's actually a charging port underneath the screw cap. You know, it's a mini USB as opposed to micro, which is what you're used to seeing. This is like the old BlackBerry tips for those of you who aren't that old. I actually finally got a hold of an old BlackBerry at one point. I mean, I love that damn thing. I mean, it's a great, if you ever get the chance to get like one of the original BlackBerries with the thumb wheel, they make really good PDAs. I mean, I don't know how well they work as phones and whatever else, although the only time I ever was able to use it for a phone was actually to call 911 because, when there was something going on that, I needed to get an ambulance for. Not for me. I was working as parking lot security, and something went on that, like, we got in a fight or whatever else. I had to call an ambulance. And, I mean, it had great call quality and everything else. But I mean, they are great PDAs. I mean, they are very simple, straightforward, and everything. And if I could get one of the old original PDAs or one of the old original BlackBerries again, I would. I mean, these things are great. The battery life on them, I mean, it ain't too bad. But I mean, at least for running around and getting using it as a scheduler or whatever else is pretty good. Plus, if you give them a Wi-Fi, they still work pretty well. And I mean, I kind of like just that old BlackBerry. It's kind of minor nostalgia thing for some reason. But anyway, let's see. Oh, also for the chest piece, I actually have decided that I am going to go with this original, with the arc reactor pattern that I originally had done, and somehow ended up with a. Oh, okay. No, I'm looking at it wrong. I'm actually going to be. I will be using everything from the faceplate of it. May or may not, although I can't even find the... Oh, there it is. Okay, yeah, I was using it to separate other sections. I may or may not use the body of this. I am definitely going to use the faceplate, and then I've got to find my modeling plastic. But if I can't find the modeling plastic, I can take 1 or 2 layers of milk jug, and so I have that up underneath the face. And I actually we have a couple of these, but this one friggin', and so I'm actually going to be repurposing the mesh as part of the faceplate thing. Depends on whether or not I decide to do something I'm thinking about, which is, where is it? Oh, okay, yeah. This triangle piece here, I may actually end up, oh God, you'd think I would have not lost that page, unless it's not on here. I could have sworn I had this little triangle piece. I might actually be missing a sheet, but it's not that important. But what I'm thinking about doing actually is, once it's assembled, actually removing the triangle piece and putting in the mesh on it. So I have to really decide what I'm gonna do with certain things on that. But overall, it's actually coming along pretty good and all. Anyway, this went on about 5 minutes, 10 minutes longer than I actually meant to talk about the costume stuff. I've actually been looking at a lot of the really weird stuff that I've seen on YouTube. There's one guy that, I don't know, I mean, I look into the people that he kind of goes off about, and yeah, so far everyone that that I've seen him talk about, yeah, they pretty much had it coming. The way he goes off on Chris Chan catches a lot of crap, and I can see both sides on that because, I mean, he is a high-functioning autistic. Actually, I would say he's a moderate functioning. I mean, I really am, like I said before, I'm really concerned about his ability to maintain a functional life. And, oh, excuse me. But there are certain things that I'm sorry, I don't care if you really do not know the severity of your actions to the extent that he is portrayed as not knowing. You really need to be institutionalized. But there are other people like Solid Mario. Oh my God, yeah, this guy was. I'm not even sure how long ago that was. Eventually, I may end up actually checking the upload date on the videos that were criticizing him. But this guy had let's just put it this way, he wanted to eat Twinkies with Bart Simpson. But anyway, the person that I'm talking about, through all this is actually Blackbustercritic. And the latest video of his that I've seen he was pretty much. He was talking about, he was on a Skype call with this guy that likes Winx Club and Bratz. And yeah, this guy, I mean, if the one that he was kind of poking fun at is the one that I think it is, yeah, he also deserved it. The only thing I'm saying to guys like Blackbustercritic and like there's a few others that also do it too. If the person that you're getting on deserves it, I mean, like Solid Mario, oh, believe me, no argument there. That he definitely does not need to have access to. He should just be put into a little cage somewhere far away from everybody. Chris Chan, yeah, walks right into whatever. It's not the bringing attention to these people or whatever else that I have an issue with. It is, and so far the ones that I've seen that do this, they actually do make sure, and they show that, yes, these people deserve everything that's about to be dished out to them. The only thing I can say is that just please, because I see the potential for that kind of stuff being unleashed on the wrong person. And so this is not really specifically to Blackbustercritic or whatever else, but I'm hoping that he also does take my advice as well. But to anybody that's planning on doing the things that like Blackbustercritic and and others, like I said, I can't remember the names of any of them right now because he's the one that I've been watching lately. If you are going to out somebody like that, if you are going to throw their laundry all over the street like that, make sure that they actually have laundry to throw. Don't go and because I mean like the last one that I saw, he's getting on somebody that likes Winx Club and Bratz. I like Winx Club, but I'm not what you'd call this like massive like, oh my god, I am also a high-functioning autistic who I am very easily entertained. I haven't actually seen Winx Club in a while. I've seen a couple episodes, but I like pretty much anything having to do with people using magic to fight. I mean, I still play with lightsabers, for God's sake, okay? Whew. Okay, I still play with lightsabers. Well, right now I'm actually using it to hold my masking tape, but hey. And cool. Do not break my phone. Or my coffee cup. I love this coffee cup. Okay? This coffee cup is almost as old as my wife, by the way. You know, like I said, I mean, I like any show that has magic use. I have a friend of mine I have a friend that's actually a brony. I remember the original show. I remember having to sit there and listen to my sister bitch about the fact that if she didn't get to watch her My Little Pony, I mean, I would have to, you know, oh God, My Little Pony, the Wuzzles, oh, a couple of them were pretty good. But, you know, like I said, I understand if somebody is obsessed with the show or whatever else to the point of, yeah, you need to. I like any show with having magic and combat, basically. Now, shows like Winx Club and everything, if they were done by live actors, could actually be taken somewhat seriously. It's just that these are half-hour toy commercials aimed at selling toys to little girls. So yeah, I can see where people get, you know, people catch hell for liking the shows. And like I said, I like the whole magic combat aspect of it. Other than that, I mean, like I said, I think I've seen like 3 episodes, so I really don't know much about the show. I just like the idea of, hey, cool, they use magic and they can fly. That's great escapism. But like I said, I have a friend who's a brony, and I was sitting there and I was actually like, I have seen the first 5 episodes because he was like, hey, cool, you want to see this? And I was like, hey, I'm curious to see what it's about anyway. And I mean, it's a little bit cheesy and all, but then I found out recently about some of the plot developments and character developments and everything, and I'm like, okay, I understand people look down on the show because it's a half-hour toy commercial aimed at selling dolls to little girls. But My Little Pony is another one of those shows that, if it was done with live people, or if it was done with a male cast and was aimed at boys, the character and plot development of this show would actually be taken seriously as a show. I mean, there has been like actual moral quandaries and things like that. It's just that because bronies got the reputation that they did in the first place, you know. But hey, like I said, I remember the original show, and I do have to admit, I mean, I do like Rainbow Dash. I mean, Pony's got an attitude from hell and can fly. I like things that fly. You know, like I said, I personally am not what you would call a brony. I remember the original show, and I have a soft spot for the new show because anything from the 80s. Okay, I mean, I was born in 1973. I grew up in the 80s. Okay, I still want a damn piano necktie, for God's sakes. Okay, I love the 80s, but you know. My advice, I guess what I'm trying to say, because right now, really, I'm just recording because I'm waiting for MechWarrior Online to finish installing. But basically, I've seen a lot of videos out there of people basically really coming down on the weirdos. And I used to be one of those people that just, if you were odd, if you were whatever, I was probably one of the first people online to look down on you because my own egotism. I needed somebody to be above. I didn't care if anybody was less than me. There's a big difference between needing somebody to be lower than you and needing to be not that person. While still being a prick, I was at least not as bad as the people who, like my sister, needed somebody beneath them. So, I finally kind of got my head together where I wasn't letting my egotism get in the way. And I understand there are really weird people out there. There are people that just do not need to be left unsupervised. But before you pass judgment on somebody's interests and whatever else, learn about it. Like I said, with My Little Pony, there are so many people out there that automatically look down on the show, and if you would actually bother studying it, and you just find out about the plot development and stuff like that, you'd find out that, yeah, it started off as some frou-frou, fluffy thing, but they actually developed it. It actually has plot and stuff now. I still don't watch the show much just because, I mean, I have other crap to do. And generally it's like when I do hang out with my one brony friend, you know, it's like I may end up catching up on a couple episodes, whatever, because there's like specific ones that, you know, hey, you might actually like this one. And the ones that I've seen are actually ones that, hey, yeah. I mean, I like to, I do like to watch every once in a while because the original villain from the show played Q from Star Trek The Next Generation. It's like there are these other connections of, oh cool, it's like this guy did what? I have to see this now. What did Q get up to? And it was a rather interesting portrayal of a psychotic dragon. So like I said, if something needs to be done or said, or somebody needs to be raked over the coals of public opinion, then by all means, if they actually have it coming to them, go for it. But if it's just they like stuff that you think is weird, there's too much crap going on in the world to base your actions and whatever else around what you don't like. I mean, there's a lot of things that I don't like, but I'm not going to go and start going on these public rants and crusades about whatever, because for the most part it's just the dumb shit. The things that I will go out on rants and raves about, gay marriage for example, I personally don't give a crap about who wants to marry who or whatever else. Everybody wants to say, well, if we allow this, then they're going to be marrying animals, and they're going to be doing this or whatever else, and it's going to open up the door to marrying children. And no. The fact is that all of the arguments against gay marriage are bullshit. I do not see in any way, shape, or form how gay marriage is going to somehow threaten my marriage. I don't see how it is that allowing gay marriage is going to somehow put somebody more likely to become gay. They either are going to be gay or they're not. Saying whether they can get married is just whether or not, and you know, let me actually simplify this. The arguments against gay marriage, that it's going to somehow destroy traditional values and marriage and whatever. Half of marriages end in divorce anyway, and that's with gay marriage being illegal. So, marriage is about procreation. Well, what about the people who can't have kids? And then there's the one that really bugs the piss out of me. All of these same people that no gay marriage, they're perfectly fine with civil unions, which give identical rights and responsibilities of marriage, and which actually require a divorce proceeding. They have no problems with gays getting divorces. The whole thing is not about gay marriage or whatever. It's an ideological pissing contest over a word. To be able to say that, well, I'm married, but you just have a civil union. It's feeding that need to be above somebody. I have a marriage, but you don't have a marriage. Okay? I'm trying not to get into my real ranty mode because my wife's actually asleep right now. But I've been seeing a lot of things on YouTube and everything lately about about things that just like, oh my god, Solid Mario wants to have sex with Bart Simpson. Okay, I think cat girls are cute. There's a lot of guys that think hybrid cat women thing or whatever are hot. I mean, I don't know why. Neckos are hot. But to sit there and the biggest thing about a cartoon character is the fact that they're a 10-year-old boy is what does it for you. Then again, I'm not sure which is weirder, Solid Mario's fetish for Bart Simpson, or I don't know who it was, but there's a guy out there that is specifically and almost exclusively attracted to Garrus's feet. Garrus is a character from a video game. And he's not even attracted to Garrus, he's attracted to his feet. So I'm not sure which one weirds me out more, okay? And I understand, yes, there are all these people out there that just need to be removed from the gene pool. But if you're going to do that stuff, do it because it's what's right to do. Not because they're less than you. Not because they are weird or they don't meet with your approval. I'm going to have to actually start scripting out my stuff instead of just the random whatever's on my mind, because half the time I'll be sitting there talking about what it is that I want to talk about, and then I hate allergy season. And then I end up getting sidetracked because I keep thinking of all these other things to say. And, well, anyway, I'm actually going to cat this off and make sure that the Mech Warrior Online is going. I will be having some game reviews coming up pretty soon. That's part of why I'm doing the Mech Warrior Online, was because I saw about the thing. Mech Warrior was a game back a while ago that it's like pretty much impossible to find now. I managed to actually get a copy of Mech Warrior 4 Mercenaries, which, you think Dragon Con for that session. But yeah, I'll be playing that for a couple of days or whatever, just to kind of get a general thing for it. I'm going to do a review on that, and I will also be reviewing some games that are relatively new to me anyway. But a lot of you have already played, like I say, let's see, Infamous on PS3, and then Starhawk, I believe that's called. It's a really cool, it's basically a tower defense game in almost first person. So that's going to be interesting. And then playing around with GTH 4. So, well, basically, like I said, I'm going to put together some things on those for the next couple posts. And in the meantime, thank you for continuing to watch, and have a nice day.